Welcome to the D&D world.
Hey everybody, this is Dave on CRPG Dungeons & Dragons Night, and I'm continuing with the manual reading of Dungeon Hack. We left off on cleric spells, which we were just starting. So, and this is Miley in my arms, by the way. She would decide to be a little baby this evening and wanted to snuggle. So, I'm kind of stuck with her for a little while, so bear with me. First level cleric spells. Range 0, duration medium, area of effect your character. Upon uttering this spell, the morale of your character is raised, and he or she gains a bonus. What are you looking at? There you go. What was I? He or she gains bonus to his or her attacks. Bless spells are not cumulative. High-level paladins can cast bless spells. Not blast spells, bless spells. That is my ear. Get your nose out of there. Thank you. Cause light wounds. Range close. Duration permanent. Area of effect 1 target. By casting this spell, the cleric can cause 1 to 8 hit points of damage. Cure light wounds. Might help if I go to the right spot. Cure light wounds. By casting this spell on your wounded character, up to 8 hit points. Okay, that was cause light wounds. This is cure light wounds. By casting this spell on your wounded character, up to 8 hit points of damage can be cured. High-level paladins can cast cure light wounds spells. Detect magic. Range 0, duration instantaneous. Area of effect carried items. This spell allows the caster to determine any of the items being carried are magically enchanted. All magic items are indicated for a short period of time. High-level paladins can cast detect magic spells. Detect pits. Range 0, duration special, area of effect special. When the spell is cast, the dungeon map is displayed and all pits on the level are marked. Invisibility to undead. Range, touch, duration, 6 rounds, area of effect, creature touched. Invisibility to undead means that upon casting this spell, undead lose track of and ignore your character. Powerful undead with many hit points may avoid the effect of this spell. Note also that a priest protected by the spell cannot turn affected undead, and that the spell ends immediately if the character makes any attack. Protection from evil. Range 0, duration medium, area of effect your character. This spell envelops your character in a magical shell which inhabits the attacks of any evil creatures. This spell's duration increases with the level of the caster. High-level paladins can cast protection from evil spells. Alright. She finally wants down. There you go. I'm almost getting tired. Aid. Range 0. This spell acts like a bless spell. Range 0. Duration short to medium. Area of effect your character. I forgot to read the rest of those. Bad me. This spell acts like a bless spell and confers 1 to 8 extra hit points. The temporary hit points are subtracted before the character's own if he or she is injured in combat. The spell's duration increases with the level of the caster. Flame Blade. Range short, duration medium, area of effect 1 target. This spell causes a flame-like blade to leap from the caster's hand. The blade attacks like a normal sword and does 7 to 10 points of damage when cast. A burning sword appears in the caster's hand. Your character attacks with this as he or she would with any other melee weapon. Spell does slightly less damage against targets protected from fire. Spell duration increases with the level of the caster. Hold person. She doesn't want me to hold her anymore, but she still wants the pets. Hold person. Range long, duration medium, area of effect up to 4 characters. Range long, duration medium, up to 4 characters. This spell can affect human, demi-human, or humanoid creatures. Creatures that are affected become rigid and unable to move or speak. Spell duration increases with the level of the caster. Resist cold. Range 0, duration medium, area of effect your character. When cast, this spell gives your character some resistance to cold-based attacks or spells. He or she reduces damage from each attack. Resist fire. Well, we got cold, now we got fire. And I got cat hairs on my nose again. Terrific. So I'm going to be messing with those all evening. When this spell casts, it gives the character some resistance. Well, it's the same range, duration, and area of effect as the previous ones. So, moving on. When this spell is cast, it gives the character some resistance to fire-based attacks or spells. He or she takes reduced damage from such attacks. Slow poison. Range 0, duration long, area of effect your character. This spell slows the effects of any type of poison for a limited time. When the spell dissipates, the victims suffer the poison's full effects unless a neutralized poison spell is cast. The spell's duration increases with the level of the caster. High-level paladins can cast slow poison spells. Spiritual Hammer. This spell, range long, duration medium, area of effect 1 target per attack. This spell creates a hammer of force that your cleric can hurl at opponents. The higher the level the cleric is, the more damage his or her hammer does. The hammer returns to the caster after each attack and disappears when the spell wears off. And so it is a first level. I just got to learn it. Okay. Well, I think it's Redbeard44 is always telling me I need to. He always uses dual wielding spiritual hammers, so I guess I gotta figure out. You can make it. There you go. Good. I didn't have to get up. She got out on her own. Alright, so 3rd level cleric spells. Create food and water. Range 0. Duration permanent. Effect area of effect special. This spell allows your cleric to conjure nourishment for himself. When your character's food bar is blank, he or she suffers 1 hit point of damage every 24 hours. That's the first time they've mentioned that. Starving mages and clerics are unable to regain their spells. Dispel Magic. Range 0. Duration instantaneous. Area of effect your character. The spell negates the effects of any spell affecting your character. Dispel Magic does not counter cure spells, but it will dispel hold person, bless, and similar spells. Magical Vestment. Range 0, duration medium, area of effect the spellcaster. This spell enchants the cleric's own robes, providing protection at least equivalent to chainmail, AC 5. The vestment gains a +1 enchantment for every 3 levels the cleric earns above 5th level. For example, an 11th level cleric would have AC 3 protection. The spell is not cumulative with itself or any other spells or armor. The spell's duration increases with the level of the caster. Negative plane protection. Range 0, duration long or until the character is hit. Area of effect, your character. This spell gives your character partial protection from undead attacks that drain levels. However, the character still takes any physical damage done by the attack. Undead creatures that attack characters protected by this spell suffer 2 to 12 points of damage from the spell's positive energy. Prayer. Range 0, duration short to medium, area of effect your character. This spell is a powerful version of the first level Bless. This spell increases your character's combat abilities and decreases the enemies. The spell has no cumulative effects. The spell's duration increases with the level of the caster. Protection from fire. Range 0, duration long, area of effect your character. When the spell is cast, your character takes no damage from any fire attacks for a certain amount of time. The spell absorbs the damage from those attacks. After the spell has been absorbed all it can, it dissipates. Remove Curse. Range 0, duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell allows a character with a cursed item to drop the item. However, the item itself will still be cursed with its negative properties. Remove Paralysis. Range 0, duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell negates the effects of any type of paralyzation or related magic. The spell counters hold or slow spells. Water breathing. When this spell is cast, your character is able to breathe water freely for the duration of the spell. Blessed Warmth. Range 0, duration medium, area of effect your character. This spell makes your character immune to natural cold and provides extra resistance against magical cold attacks. Cause serious wounds. Range close, duration permanent, area of effect one target. This spell is identical to the first level Cause Light Wound spell, except that it inflicts 3 to 17 hit points of damage. Cure Serious Wounds. Range 0, duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell is identical to the first level Cure Light Wound spell, except that it heals 3 through 17 hit points of damage. Free Action. Range 0, duration long, area of effect your character. With this spell, your character is unhindered and can attack normally underwater. This spell also gives the character immunity to spells like Slow, Hold, and Paralysis. Note that while the spell allows unhindered movement underwater, it does not enable characters to breathe underwater. Neutralize Poison. Range 0, duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell detoxifies any sort of poison or venom, although it cannot bring your character back to life if he or she is already dead. Duly noted. Okay, when the spell casts... Oh, I forgot to read the name and the other stuff. Poison. Range close. Duration instantaneous, area of effect one target. When the spellcaster uses this spell, he or she gains a poisonous touch. If the caster hits a character with this touch, the creature may die of poisoning. Okay, 5th level Cleric Spells. Cause Critical Wounds. Range close, duration permanent, area of effect one target. This spell is identical to the first level Cause Light Wounds, except that it inflicts 6 through 27 hit points of damage. Cure Critical Wounds. Range 0, duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell is identical to the first level Cure Light Wounds spell, except that it heals 6 through 27 hit points of damage. Flame Strike. Range long, duration instantaneous, area of effect 1 square. By means of this spell, the cleric calls down from the sky a column of flame. Creatures fully affected by the spell suffer 6 to 48 points of damage. Slay Living. Range short, duration permanent, area of effect one target. The target of a slay level spell either suffers damage or dies instantly. Higher level opponents have a better chance of only taking damage. True Seeing, range 0, duration short, area of effect special. With this spell, your character can see things as they really are. Illusionary walls do not fool him or her, and the invisible monsters, items, or magical effects appear. This spell also reveals certain traps or trapped items by casting a red glow around them. 6th level cleric spell. Harm. Range close, duration permanent, area of effect 1 target. This spell will bring a target to death's door, reducing it to very few hit points, no matter how many hit points the target had before the spell. Yikes. Heal. Range 0. Duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell completely heals your character of all damage, poison, blindness, and paralysis. Nice. Hero's Feast. Range 0. Duration permanent, area of effect your character. This spell, in addition to feeding your characters, cures diseases, heals, blesses, or as per the blessed spell, and makes your character immune to fear, poison, hopelessness, and panic for an extended period of time. Nice. Soul's Searing Orb. Range long, duration instantaneous, area of effect 1 target. This spell turns a gem into a weapon. The gem must be thrown immediately because it turns into a searing orb. The priest's chances of hitting a target are greatly increased. If the gem hits, it causes 6 to 36 points of fire damage, and the target is blinded for a short period of time. Undead creatures suffer double the damage effect. Nice. Okay, 7th level cleric spells. Firestorm, range 0, duration instantaneous, area of effect your character. When a firestorm spell is cast, the whole area is shot through with sheets of roaring flame that equal a fireball spell in effect. All creatures with the area of fire suffer 2 through 16 points of damage, plus additional damage equal to the caster's level. Restoration. Range 0, duration instantaneous, area of effect your character. Well, we got a lot to read on this one. This spell raises the life energy of the recipient by 1, reversing any previous life energy level drain. For example, a 10th level character was struck by a wight and drained to the 9th level. The restoration spell would restore him or her to 10th level. Restoration is effective only if cast within 1 day of the original loss of life energy. Okay, so that's the end of the spellbook. Now we're on to strategies for use. Let me try that again. Strategies for using spells. The spells your spellcaster memorizes have an important effect on the character's tactics. In the following section, the spells are divided into types: offensive, defensive, healing, and others. Hints are given on when each type of spell is most effective. Spells that are available only to clerics are marked with a caret sign. Never knew that's what that was called. Okay. Offensive spells. So please nobody get offended by the offensive spells. Burning Hands, cause light wounds. Shocking Grasp, Flame Blade, Vampiric Touch, cause serious wounds, cause critical wounds. These are hand-to-hand magical attacks because of the time it takes to cast the spells and the vulnerability of many spellcasters. They are normally the offensive spell of last resort. And then we got Magic Missile, Melf's Acid Arrow, Spiritual Hammer, Soul's Searing Orb, Borden Caden's Sword, and Bigby's Clenched Fist. As magical items, they affect only one monster at a time. Disintegrate, Flesh to Stone, Death Spell, Finger of Death, and Power Word. kill. This ranged manageable... Sorry. These ranged magical attacks can eliminate one target with a single attempt. They are the favorite offensive spells of high-level mages when engaging monsters with many hit points. Keep getting cat hair right up my nose. It's driving me crazy. I love my cat, but damn. Hold person, fireball, lightning bolt, slow, fear, hold undead. Ice storm, cone of cold, flame strike, hold monster, acid storm. These spells affect several monsters in an area. Because of the damage they do, they are often the preferred offensive spells of high-level spellcasters. Look closely at the area of effect for each spell. Spells affecting several squares are more effective against monsters that cannot attack in groups. Spells affecting a single square are most effective against monsters that attack in groups. I think they got that backwards. Be careful when using the Ice Storm and Hold Person spells. If the target of an Ice Storm is within melee range, your character also takes damage from the spell. The Hold Person spell only affects men and other humanoid creatures. Defensive spells. Armor, blur, protection from evil, shield, and magical vestment. These spells provide protection from physical attacks. Cast them on your character before battles that involve physical attacks. Bless, prayer, negative, plane protection. These spells provide protection from magical attacks. Cast them on your character before battles that involve magical attacks. Resist cold, resist fire, protection from paralysis, protection from fire, and blessed warmth. Ward off certain magical and physical attacks with these spells. For example, protection from paralysis protects your character from both paralysis spells and paralysis from physical attacks. Healing spells. Cure light wounds, aid, cure serious wounds, cure critical wounds, heal, and hero's feast. Replace lost hit points with these spells. The aid spell can increase your character's hit points over their normal maximum value, but only temporarily. Cleric class characters should always have a few cure light wound spells memorized to quickly heal any wounds while resting. Slow poison, remove paralysis, neutralize poison, remove curse, and stone to flesh. To slow or remove the effects of poison, paralysis, and curses, keep a number of these spells memorized when your character is near a monster who can poison or paralyze. God. Other spells. Detect magic. This spell is very useful in evaluating the items your character picks up during the game. The spell causes all magical items carried by the character to glow. Invisibility. Invisibility is useful to hide your characters from mystic sensors and prying eyes. Even when your character is invisible, most monsters will sense his general location, though monsters receive big penalties on attacks against invisible targets. Create food and water. This spell is useful when your food is scarce. In the latter levels of the game. Be sure your character memorizes this spell before he or she runs out of food. Haste. Use haste when your character faces monsters who prove to be very fast. The haste spell allows melee attacks to be made much faster. Cast this spell on your character before dangerous battles. True Seeing. Stuck in an area with many illusions, invisible monsters, traps, etc., have your character try True Seeing. Water breathing. This spell allows your character to breathe underwater. Free action allows your character to move without penalty underwater and gains immunity from certain paralyzing and movement hindering spells. Adventuring strategy. Okay, we're getting into the strategic stuff here. Attacking opponents. Characters most often engage in melee combat, which is face-to-face battle with monsters. With weapons. I don't know why I saw monsters, such as swords and maces. Other options include casting spells and ranged combat using bows or slings. In general, a character attacks the enemy in the front rank on his side of the screen. When there is only one enemy left in a battle, it moves to the center of its square and can be attacked there. Combat mechanics. Understanding the technical side of combat allows you to choose the most effective strategy for your character in battle. Each character's ability in combat is defined by his armor class, THAC0, and damage. And again, they're going to try to explain THAC0 to me, and it's going to be completely Greek to me. Or trying to read Japanese stereo instructions. Armor class. Armor class AC is how difficult a monster is to hit with a weapon. The lower the armor class, the harder it is to hit the target. Armor class is based on armor and a bonus for the character's dexterity. Some magic items help improve or lower armor class rating. Okay, here we go with THAC0. Brace yourselves, this is going to be rough on me. THAC0 is your character's ability to hit enemies. THAC0 stands for to hit armor class 0. The character must roll a number equal to or greater than this to damage a target with an armor class of 0. The lower the attacker's THAC0, the better his chance to hit the target. A character's THAC0 is based on his or her class and level. Note, the generation of random number is often referred to as a roll. In determining if an attack hit, the number generation is from 1 through 20. The base roll is modified by the character's ability scores and by the use of magic weapons. An attack is successful if the roll is greater than or equal to the attacker's THAC0, minus the target's AC. Example, a fighter with a THAC0 of 15 attacking a monster with an AC of 3 would need to roll THAC0 15 minus AC 3 equal 12 plus. Okay. But to hit a monster with an AC of negative 2, he or she would need to roll THAC0 15 minus AC 2 equals 17 plus. Again, I don't understand any of that. Math was never my, well, you know. Okay, damage. Damage is the hit points lost. That's not even what that says. Damage is the hit point loss an attacker inflicts on his opponent. This damage is based on the attacker's strength and the weapon being used. What damage each weapon can do is summarized in the weapon chart. Sometimes monsters take partial or no damage from certain weapons. Skeletons, for example, take half damage from sharp or edged weapons. Combat strategies. Characters who use thrown weapons should carry them in hand and in their belt pouch for quick reloading. A shield or short sword in that position will be readied automatically after the character attacks with the last of his or her thrown weapons. Be sure to recover your character's ranged weapons after each battle. You may wish to collect all the ranged weapons your character finds, for they are used quickly in battle. Moving and fighting. Paying attention to the compass on the screen to help with mapping in an unexplored area. Excuse me. Okay, let's start that again. Pay attention to the compass on the screen to help with mapping. In an unexplored area, move with a spell menu on the screen and an attack spell showing. Prepare your character for battle before opening any door, climbing or descending stairs, or pushing any button that might open a door or secret wall. Monsters often crouch behind closed doors or secret walls, waiting and hungry for combat. Remember, your character can move and fight at the same time, even backwards to dodge a melee attack and sideways to dodge a range attack. Another strategy is to retreat behind a door and close it, blocking the attack of a particular nasty beast. Be careful though, some monsters can open doors to follow. So my strategy of moving back does help, but it's also going along with the roll of the die, so he can still hit me even if I'm at a distance. More hints. Here are a few hints to help your character along the way. Carry items with you. You never know when your character will need something he or she has found. To carry an item along for the adventure, pick it up and move it into a backpack. If there is no more room in your character's inventory, find a safe and easily accessible location to stash items that cannot be carried. Keep track of buttons and levers. Some puzzles are activated in one part of the dungeon, yet affect other parts further down. If your character cannot get through an area, go back and change a few buttons or levers, one at a time. Then see if the change makes a difference. Use the dungeon auto map to assist you in learning the workings of certain puzzles. Look for hidden buttons on the walls. Always check walls for hidden buttons and bricks. Moving your character sideways down a wall often makes such things easier to spot. Keep your eye on the compass. Watch the compass as your character explores the dungeon. There are a number of traps that change your character's facing. Teleporters often reveal themselves in this way. Watch for teleporters. Do you suspect your character is being teleported while moving through an area? Throw an item past the suspected teleporter, then watch. The item disappears if it teleports. When to save the game. Save the game anytime you believe something might happen to hurt your character. We also recommend saving at the beginning of each level, which I've normally done. If a puzzle is difficult to solve, save the game and try different solutions. If monsters are attacking thick and fast, save the game and try new strategies. When things are really tough, save before opening doors. Special note, if you are playing Dungeon Hack in the hard difficulty setting, or if you have turned the character death reel option on and your character dies, all saves pertaining to that character are lost. Refer to the character death reel option described in the customization section on page 25 and 26. Go on. When all else fails, go on with the game. Your character need not open every door, fight every monster, and obtain every item to win. Remember, any areas your character bypasses. If he or she is stumped in a later area or needs an item to go on, go back and try the puzzle again. Okay, we're finally at the bestiary. Bestiary. Creatures inhabiting the corridors of Dungeon Hack. This section contains descriptions of the denizens lurking in the dark passages of Dungeon Hack. However, do keep in mind that you may discover a few others. So, there's also monsters that they don't even have listed here. Terrific! Okay, so the Ankheg resembles an enormous many-legged worm and has a fondness for fresh meat. Its many legs end in sharp hooks suitable for burrowing and grasping, and its powerful mandibles are capable of snapping a small tree in half with a single bite. A tough chitinous shell, usually brown or yellow, covers the entire body except for its pink, soft belly. With glistening black eyes and two sensitive antennae, the Ankheg can detect the movement of a man-sized creature up to 300 feet away. The Ankheg's preferred attack is to lie 5 to 10 feet below the surface of the ground until it detects the approach of a victim. Burrowing to the surface, it then attempts to grab its victim in its powerful mandibles. When desperate, an Ankheg may squirt a stream of acid up to 30 feet. All but the fiercest predators avoid Ankhegs. Beast Undead. The undead beast is a killer of unknown origin, compelled by its nature to destroy any living thing. The size of a small dragon, with bones protruding from its rotting flesh. It has a great horn head, its ribs are bare, and a barbed forming a nasty cage. Its ribs are bare and barbed, forming a nasty cage. Okay, I read that wrong, but there we go, correcting it. Moving on all fours, it can rear on its hind legs by balancing with its stubby tail, thus bringing its powerful forearms against its opponents. Looks like an ugly version of Gamora. Excuse me. Bugbear. I knew those were bugbears. Bugbears are the giant hairy cousins of goblins. Large and muscular, they are vaguely humanoid in appearance with a mouthful of long, sharp fangs. This feature giving them their name is their large nose, which is similar to that of a bear, and provides them with an excellent sense of smell. Their attacks are tactically sound, and they do not hesitate to call for reinforcements. Before closing with their foes, they tend to hurl small weapons such as maces, hammers, and spears. When overmatched or outnumbered, a bugbear does not hesitate to retreat, which does not happen in the game. Carrion crawler. The carrion crawler is a scavenger of subterranean areas, feeding primarily on carrion. When such food becomes scarce, however, it attacks and kills any living thing. Looking like a cross between a giant green cutworm and a cephalopod, the carrion crawler is thought to be the result of genetic experimentation by an evil wizard. Moving quickly, the carrion crawler lashes out with 2-foot-long tentacles, each of which produces a sticky secretion that can paralyze its victim. While we know that part, they then kill their paralyzed prey. Some underground inhabitants, such as goblins and trolls, may make use of carrion crawlers by leaving the bodies of dead foes in designated areas. This has the effect of encouraging carrion crawlers to patrol the area in question. Chimera. Fortunately, I haven't run into any of those yet. Chimera has the hindquarters of a large black goat and the forequarters of a lion. Brownish black wings rise from its back, and it possesses 3 heads: that of a goat, a lion, and a fierce dragon. The goat head is pitch black with glowing amber eyes and long ochre horns. The lion head is framed by a brown mane and has green eyes. The dragon head is covered with orange scales and has black eyes. Its 3 heads and a powerful physique make the chimera a deadly foe in combat. If it's in the moon, the dragon head can loose a searing stream of flame in lieu of a lethal bite. Cockatrice. Infamous for its ability to turn flesh into stone, the cockatrice is an eerie hybrid of a lizard, rooster, and a bat. About the size of a large goose or turkey, it boasts bat-like wings and the long tail of a lizard. The cockatrice fiercely attacks anything it deems a threat to its lair, human or otherwise. The method of attack is for the beast to grapple with its foe, touching exposed flesh and turning it into stone. Flocks of cockatrice do their utmost to overwhelm and confuse their opponents, sometimes flying directly into their victims' faces. The touch of a cockatrice is powerful enough to affect its victim through leather and fabric, with only metal armor being strong enough to deflect the deadly beaks. The cockatrice senses where its victims are vulnerable and proves very effective at finding an area of exposed flesh, which it can turn to stone. Oh, so it's an asshole. Hello, viewer. How are you doing this evening? Or this morning? It's 12:30 in my area in the morning. Dragon Blue. Blue dragons love to spend long hours preparing ambushes for their prey, be it a herd of migrating herbivores or an unwary traveler. They are known to dwell on their success and admire their trophies for an equally long time. Highly intelligent, blue dragons speak a tongue common to all evil dragons, while a few possess the ability to communicate with any intelligent creature. These creatures prefer to stand off and deliver a terrible blow with their breath weapon, a 5-foot wide bolt. A 5-foot wide bolt of lightning that can streak 100 feet in a straight line from the dragon's mouth. This attack is delivered from a distance as a matter of pride, with the dragon as intent on demonstrating its dreadful talent as as on killing its prey. Older blue dragons possess special skills such as hallucinatory terrain, the ability to camouflage their hiding places and thus aid in their chance to surprise the unwary. They can also cast spells and demonstrate a variety of magical abilities. Elemental, Earth Elemental. Earth Elementals can be conjured in any area of earth or stone. This type of common elemental appears on the prime material plane. It's a very large humanoid made of dirt, stone, precious metals, and gems. It has a cold, expressionless face, and its two eyes sparkle like brilliant, multifaceted gems. Though they travel very slowly, they are relentless in the fulfillment of their appointed tasks. An earth elemental can travel through solid ground or stone with no penalties to movement or dexterity. Water elemental. Water elementals can be conjured in any area containing a large amount of water or watery liquid. Usually a large pool serves this purpose, but several large kegs of wine or ale have been known to work as well. The water elemental appears on the prime material plane as a high-crested wave. The elemental's arms appear as smaller waves, on one thrust out on each side of its main body. The arms ebb and flow, growing longer and shorter as the elemental moves. Two orbs of deep green peer out from front of the wave and serve the elemental as eyes. Like all other common elementals, water elementals rarely speak. Ettin. Ettins are two-headed giants. They are vicious and unpredictable hunters, stalking by night for any meat they can catch. Uncivilized giants, Ettins abhor bathing or any other activity which might soften their thick, grime-encrusted skin. Ugh. This thick skin gives the Ettin a low armor class. They prefer to ambush their victims. But however the battle starts, Ettins fight furiously until they either win or are so badly injured that retreat is the only alternative to death. In combat, an Ettin has two attacks, because each of its two heads control an arm. It then does not suffer an attack roll penalty for attacking with both arms. Two clubs covered with spikes are the sole weapon of the Ettin, though Ettins collect treasure. Adventurers rummaging through their lairs find them disgusting, dangerous places. Oh, that was nice of them to give me the pronunciation of that one. Fears. Fears, pronounced fears, are created from the remnants of ordinary nightmares mixed with residual magical energies. They are unknowingly brought to life by the strong emotions of a large group of people. They are most commonly found in large cities that have a good number of mages, priests, and other spellcasters. Fears appear as humped, hunchbacked creatures, grim and inhuman in appearance. Their hide is mottled and curved like the surface of the human brain. The creature is supported by two main tentacles which act as legs and by a handful of other tentacled limbs. Gargoyles. Run into those guys before. Gargoyles are ferocious creatures, magical by nature, and often found dwelling amid ruins or in underground caverns. Originally, gargoyles are carved roof spouts designed to represent grotesque human and animal figures. A powerful enchantment cast long ago brought these sculptures to life. Gargoyles take great pleasure in torturing to death their helpless prey. They are winged creatures and excellent fighters with 4 attacks per round. Counting on their appearance as sculptures, gargoyles often stand or sit motionless, perhaps posing in a fashion or standing beside a doorway. When their victim is close enough, they strike out. When possible, they also enjoy swooping down on their victims from above. Sometimes the creatures they collect from their victims can be found buried or under a large stone. Nice. Ghoul. Once human, ghouls are the undead who feed on the flesh of corpses. Their transformation has left them deranged, destroyed their minds, and leaving them behind only a terrible cunning. With long, roughened tongues, they lick marrow from cracked bones. Ghouls attack by clawing with their filthy nails and biting with their fangs. Unfortunately, the very touch of a ghoul causes many creatures to become rigid, a paralysis which can last for many rounds unless negated. Any human or demi-human except elves killed in the ghoulish attack become ghouls themselves. This fate can be avoided if the victim is devoured by the ghouls, or the proper blessings is obtained. They can be kept at bay with the magic circle of protection from evil, but are immune to sleep and charm spells. So, your two options to be cured is to let them eat you, or find a priest. Nice. Goblin. If not for their great numbers, these small evil humanoids would be mere pests. And we've run into goblins plenty of time in the game so far. With sloping foreheads and arms hanging down almost to their knees, they menace other races with their spears and axes, or with any other weapon, or with any weapon which takes little training to use. Goblins hate sunlight and prefer to fight underground, where their infravision to 60 feet gives them the advantage. Cowardly, goblins generally avoid a face-to-face fight. Their specialty is ambush. Even in an ambush, however, goblin tactics prove to be simple and crude. Goblins hate most other humanoids, gnomes and dwarves in particular, and work to exterminate them. Those not killed are taken as slaves or are dispatched later and used for food. Grave Mist. These terrible undead are typically found in desolate graveyards and buried grounds. They do, however, dwell anywhere corpses may be found. Grave mist seeps into the primal material plane where dead bodies are present and feed on any remaining life essence the corpse retain. Grave mists appear vaguely humanoid in shape, with gray swirling mist as the outlines of their bodies. Dark black holes are all that show on the face to denote eyes. Their movements are swift and deft. A group may appear as smoke or fog to the unwary traveler. They attack with a chilling touch similar to that of a wraith. Golem, flesh. A golem is an artificial form, a humanoid body animated by an elemental spirit. It is under the complete control of its creator. The flesh golem is made from a ghoulish collection of stolen human body parts, stitched together to form a single decaying horror. This creature has no possessions, including weapons. It cannot speak, but it does roar occasionally as it walks along in its stiff, disjointed gait, incapable of strategy or tactics. Flesh golems are emotionless in combat, as they do not use weapons. It is the strength of 19 which proves dangerous, especially since only a magical weapon can be used against them. Fire and cold-based spells slow them down, while electrical attack actually add hit points to the golem. All other spells are powerless against the creature. So basically it's kind of like a spiritual version of Frankenstein's monster. That's what I'm getting from it. Groaning Spirit, aka Banshee. The Groaning Spirit, or Banshee, is the spirit of an evil female elf. A very rare thing indeed. Groaning spirits hate the living. They find the presence of living things painful and seek to harm whoever they meet. Groaning spirits appear as floating, luminous phantasms of their former selves. Their image glows brightly at night, but is transparent in sunlight. Most groaning spirits look old and withered, have hair that is wild and unkempt, and dress in tattered rags. They have faces of pain and anguish, and eyes burning brightly with hatred and ire. Groaning spirits frequently cry out in pain, hence their name. Hag. Hags are witch-like beings that spread havoc and destruction, working their magic and slaying all whom they encounter. They appear as wretched old women with long frayed hair and withered faces. Grotesque moles, and warts dot their blotchy skin. They wear clothing similar to that of a peasant woman. Peasant women, excuse me. They wear clothing similar to that of a peasant women there. Their mouths contain blackened teeth, and their breath is foul. Though they appear wrinkled and weak, hags possess supernatural strength and can easily crush smaller creatures, goblins, for example, with one hand. And though hags look decrepit and dilapidated, they run surprisingly swiftly. They can even lithely bound over and around rocks and logs in their path. Yeah, they put two cans all around even, so that kind of mixed it up for me there. Iron-like claws grow from their skinny fingers. They use these claws and their supernatural strength to rend and tear opponents in combat. Hobgoblin. Run into those guys. Intelligent, organized, and aggressive. Hobgoblins wage a perpetual war with other humanoid races. They appear typical as burly humanoids with hairy hides and dark red or red-orange skin. A typical force of hobgoblins may be equipped with such weapons as polearms, morning stars, swords, whips, and spears. They fight equally well in bright light or darkness, having an infravision good to a range of 60 feet. As the sworn enemies of elves, they always pay special attention to an elven opponent, often attacking them first. Knight. Death. A death knight is the horrifying corruption of a knight. It was cursed by the gods as punishment for betraying the code of honor it held in its former life. Death knights are typically taller than 6 feet and weigh more than 300 pounds. A death knight's face is a blackened skull covered with shards of shriveled, rotten flesh. It has two tiny, glowing orange-red pin points for eyes. Were-rat. Lycanthrope. Usually found in tunnel complexes beneath cities where rats can transform themselves into human-sized ratmen or into giant rats. As humans, they tend to be thin, wiry individuals of shorter than average height. Their nose may be twitch when they are excited. In ratman form, they are shorter still. Head, torso, and tail in this form become those of a rat, while the limbs remain visibly human. In its last metamorphosis, the creature becomes a 2-foot-long rat. In all three forms, were-rats rely on weapons for their attacks, preferring short swords and daggers. As ratmen or giant rats, the were-rat can be hurt only by a silver or magical weapon. They are never alone if they can help it. Measle. The measle is a vicious, malevolent creature that preys on other subterranean dwellers. Slightly smaller than the average human, the measle can only be called ugly, afflicted as many of them are by a contagious skin disease, which gives them a horrid, leprous appearance. If they can approach from the rear, their favorite tactic is to strangle their victims with a cord. The victim dies in 2 rounds unless the measle relaxes its grip, an unlikely occurrence unless the cord breaks or the measle dies. They pick the pockets of their victims, collecting the treasure into a hoard which serves as the measle's bed. Strangely, gems can be found in the measle's garbage sacks of the bones of past meals found near the creature's lair. Not recognizing the value of precious stones, they often throw them away. Medusa. Greater. Hateful beings able to petrify any creature that meets their gaze. Medusa are typically female humanoids with a swarming nest of snakes in lieu of their hair. Rarer still, the greater Medusa have serpentine bodies in place of a humanoid torso and legs. So powerful is the Medusa's petrifying gaze that it maintains this ability even after death. When within 30 feet, the Medusa attempts to get its victim to look into its eyes, thus causing petrification. Should an opponent avert his or her eyes, the Medusa rushes forward to allow its serpentine hair an attack. Greater Medusas are known to use poisoned arrows, and their blood is so poisonous that after one has been killed, touching the body requires a saving throw versus poison. Damn. Mummy. Clothing and rotting strips of linen. Mummies or corpses from areas where the dead are entombed by a process known as mummification. When their tombs are disturbed, the corpses enter a weird unlife state and are imbued with the unholy hatred of life. They attack all living things without mercy. The mere sight of a mummy causes such terror that a saving throw versus spell must be made, or the victim becomes paralyzed with fright. Mummies are always extremely vulnerable to fire, so a blow with a torch or a flask of burning oil are a good defense against such creatures. Minotaur. I've run into those guys before. Minotaurs either cursed humans or the offspring of minotaurs and humans. They usually dwell in labyrinths, for they are not confused in these places. This gives them an advantage over their prey. Minotaurs are huge, well over 7 feet tall, and quite broad and muscular. They have the head of a bull and the body of a human male. Minotaurs are not extraordinarily intelligent, but are extremely cunning and have excellent senses. Naga, bone. Bone Nagas are created undead. They appear as snakes with large, human-like skull heads. Their empty eye sockets glow with hatred, created by dark Nagas and a few evil mages to serve as guardians. These worms serve their masters with absolute loyalty. Their creation is an exacting process, hence their rarity, a good thing for the gentler creatures of the realms. In battle, bone Nagas bite with their long fangs and have been known to use other means of attacking those foolish enough to seek their wrath. Bone Nagas eat nothing and fill no niche in the life cycles of the realms, except for the fact that they sometimes kill large, aggressive natural predators, including man, for sport. Naga, spirit. These black and crimson banded Naga have a human-like head with a stringy hair and deep brown eyes. Spirit Nagas smell of rotting flesh, which also happens to be their favorite food. Hiding in deserted ruins or caverns, the evil and cunning Spirit Naga try to harm any creature that passes through their domain. They set traps and frequently attack without warning. Ogre Slug. The appearance of ogre slugs is unmistakable. They have the upper torso, arms, and head of an ogre, but the lower body of a large slug. Ew. Their coloring is swampy, with gray-green skin in the upper body area, fading into a deep blackish green for the lower portion. Ogre slugs are just as mean and ugly, if not uglier, than their full-bodied cousins. Their main attack is a corrosive, acidic saliva. An ogre slug may opt to spit acid once per round instead of attacking with its fists. Orog. Orc are a species of aggressive mammalian carnivores that band together in tribes and survive by hunting and raiding. Constantly working to expand their territories, orcs have many enemies and are usually at war with humans, elves, dwarves, goblins, and other orc tribes. They resemble primitive humans with a gray-green skin and coarse hair, but perhaps their most distinctive feature is their pig-like snout. The Org is a separate race of elite orcs, possibly of mixed blood origin with ogres. Highly disciplined orgs are usually found in the vanguard of any orc force. Orcs fight with many weapons, but most commonly with axes in combination with spears, polearms, or bows. Atiag. I think I ran into that one time, and I don't remember when. That might have been my last session. Atiag, also known as the Golguthra, are terrifying creatures that lurk in heaps of dung and decay, waiting for something to disturb them. While generally feeding on the waste of other dungeon creatures, they occasionally enjoy a snack of fresh meat. Golguthra have infravision with a 90-foot range. Otyughs can be thought of as a waste disposal system for the dungeons they inhabit. Scaladar are scorpion-like monsters that have been described as smoothly moving metallic constructs. Formerly found only in Undermountain, they are beginning to spread to both subterranean and surface areas nearby. Though known to have surfaced within Waterdeep proper, rumor has it that some of these cold, methodical killers are released with orders to simply destroy all living things they encounter. They attack by grabbing prey with two huge pincer claws, while lashing out with their sting-equipped tails. Shade. I've run into a few of those. All knowledgeable authorities agree that shades are, or were, normal humans who, through arcane magic or dark sciences, have traded their souls or spirits for the essence of shadow stuff. Although they retain the shape and abilities of their original body, they are rumored to have grown in power by joining with the dark side. The true native shade is unknown, and no one knows if shades are connected with shadows. See the next monster description. Or some power of substance when from the plane of shadow. The method of transmutation from living beings to unlivable shade life has been lost. Shadow. Shadows are shadowy, undead creatures that drain strength from the victims with their chilling touch. Shadows are 90% unpredictable and all but undetectable, in all but the brightest of surroundings, as they normally appear to be nothing more than their name would suggest, shadows. However, you can clearly see them in bright light. Shadows travel in loosely organized packs that freely roam ancient ruins, graveyards, and dungeons. They specialize in terrifying their victims. Shambling Mound. Shambling mounds, also known as shamblers, appear as heaps of rotting vegetation. They are actually an intelligent form of vegetable life that is roughly humanoid shape. They measure 6 to 9 feet tall. Their girth is about 6 feet at their base, legs to waist, and 2 feet at their summit, the head. The shambling mounds are fearless attackers and are perhaps the most deadly form of a plant life known. They are not above creeping slowly into the camps of unsuspecting travelers at night. One bit of trivia: shambling mounds are excellent swimmers as well. Sheet ghoul. Don't think I've run into those yet. Under normal circumstances, sheet ghouls are indistinguishable from normal ghouls, with wispy, spiderweb-like hands of white. With wispy, spiderweb-like strands of white clinging to their face. Sheet ghouls carry what look like burial shrouds. They attack with claws and fangs, but unlike the conventional ghoul, the sheet ghoul's touch does not cause paralysis. However, this creature squirts a jet of corrosive acid out of its mouth. This causes severe damage at a range of 10 feet. They are subject to all forms of attack except sleep, charm, and other mind-affecting spells. Corpses are the preferred meal of a sheet ghoul, although they are not above eating a living victim. Slithermorph. A slithermorph is an amphibious predator and carrion eater. Most of the time it resembles a black pudding creeping about in a glistening black amorphous form. At will, it can shape change into and out of the form of a serpentine, four-armed monster resembling a yunti. In serpentine form, a slithermorph appears as a thick-bodied, scaled snake. 4 muscular arms protrude near its head. These arms can employ clubs and other crude weapons. Spectre. Spectres are powerful undead that haunt the most desolate and deserted places. They hate all life and light. Appearing as semi-transparent beings, they are often mistaken for haunts or ghosts. The chilling touch of a spectre drains energy from living creatures. Any being totally drained of life energy becomes a spectre under the control of one who created him or her. Spectres are immune to all sleep, charm, hold, and cold-based spells, as well as poisons and paralyzation attacks. They can be attacked only with magical weapons. A Raise Dead spell reverses the undead status of the specter and often destroys it immediately. Steel Shadow. Although steel shadows look rather like giant Plunorian worms, equally at home and on land, underwater they are rarely seen in their true forms. They merge with metal to enter and animate metal items. They use the metal shells of both homes and weapons. They can remain inside metal indefinitely without harm. As long as metal of some sort is nearby, you can find steel shadows in almost any habitat. From the wrecks of ships in the ocean depths to ancient tombs locked in glacial ice in the high mountains. Sword Wraith. Sword Wraiths are the spirit of warriors cut down during battle and kept from the disillusion of death by their indomitable wills. Only seen at night or underground where the sun never shines. Sword Wraiths appear as warriors. Their weapons and armor are unremarkable. Their flesh within the armor appears unsubstantial. Sword Wraiths were hardened professional soldiers at one time, and as undead, they have retained their knowledge of strategy and tactics. And continue fighting without fighting is all they know. And continue fighting because fighting is all they know. In many cases, these soldiers are too stubborn to even admit they are dead. God, there was still some more? Okay. Linkali. Linkali? Is the T silent? I'm not sure. These horrors are part human and part scorpion. Oh, man scorpion. Bone plates can cover their chest and stomach, while the ribs and backbone protrude from the body. Man scorpion. I'm going to call him man scorpion because that's what he is. Man scorpion patrol their territory in squads of 6 warriors. They attack in an organized manner as directed by their squad leader, usually throwing bolas or other long-range weapons before closing to melee. In close combat, attacks with claw and tail are common. Man Scorpion spellcaster may also be present, and if so, is capable of casting spells as a 4th level priest. They often hold humans and dwarves as slaves and use them to mine and create weapons. Troglodyte. Run into those guys before. Troglodytes are a warlike race of carnivorous reptilian humanoids that dwell in natural subterranean caverns and in the cracks and crevices of mountains. They hate man above all other creatures and often launch bloody raids on human communities in search of food and steel. Troglodytes are experts with the javelin, but their favorite tactic is to use their natural communicating ability to blend into the background and set up an ambush. A victim is often first aware of them when a volley of javelins is thrown. When angered, these creatures secrete an oil that smells so disgusting that it actually causes the victim to lose some of his or her strength. Okay, Troll. I haven't run into those yet. God, they made them ugly. Trolls are horrid carnivores found in all climes, from Arctic wastelands to tropical jungles. Most creatures avoid these beasts because trolls know no fear and attack unceasingly when hungry, which is most of the time. Their limited intelligence and ravenous appetites are commonly known character traits. Grow to a height of 9 feet or more, a rubbery hide serves as skin and regenerates a phenomenal rate. The color of this skin is nauseating moss green, mottled green, or gray or putrid gray. A writhing hair-like mass grows from their skull and is usually greenish black or iron gray in color. Trolls walk upright but hunch forward with sagging shoulders. Their gait is uneven, and when they run, their arms dangle free, often dragging along the ground. In spite of their awkwardness and a pathetic lack of grace, trolls are extremely agile climbers and runners. Okay, we're almost to... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take a break. I think I'm just going to finish this, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to call it a night. Umber Hulk. Umber Hulks are powerful subterranean predators whose iron-like claws allow them to burrow through solid stone in search of prey. These beasts are tremendously strong, standing nearly 8 feet tall and over 5 feet wide. They often dig to a point near a main corridor, then peek through a crack they've made. As the As their prey approaches, the Umber Hulk springs out, looking into an Umber Hulk's eyes causes confusion. Fortunately, these beasts are slow and show poor balance. Solitary hunters, they possess no known culture. However, legend has it that somewhere entire Umber Hulk cities exist. Watch ghosts. These undead, sometimes called unsleeping guardians, appear as graceful, beautiful humans of either sex who drift or walk about silently. Their limbs and appendages sometimes retain chalk-white flesh, but their torsos and lower bodies are always skeletal, and their eyes are always dark, empty pits. Watch ghosts are intelligent, dangerous opponents. They are usually found as guardians, serving powerful undead lords, such as specters, vampires, and liches. Often, powerful evil priests or wizards set watch ghosts to guard a tomb, treasure vault, or other enclosed area. Water weird. These unusual creatures are native of the elemental plane of water, but they are being encountered more and more often on the prime material plane. When they are found in this realm, they are violent and hostile, attacking all living things instantly. In some manner that has never been fully understood, water weirds are able to feed on the life essences of those they slay. Water weirds look like serpents composed entirely of water. White. Long ago, the word white meant simply man. As the centuries have passed, though, it has come to be associated only with those undead that typically inhabit burrow mounds and catacombs. From a distance, whites can easily be mistaken for any number. Hold on. Okay. Upon closer examination, however, their true nature becomes apparent. As undead creatures, whites are nightmarish reflections of their former selves, with cruel, burning eyes set in mummified flesh over a twisted skeleton with hands that end in sharp claws. Well, he's just a fun guy to be around. Wraith. Once a powerful human, the Wraith is an undead spirit seeking to absorb human life and energy. These evil creatures are seen as black, vaguely man-shaped clouds. The chilling touch of a wraith does damage even to creatures immune to cold. But worse, each hit drains a level of experience from its victim. Wraiths are immune to normal weapons. Silver weapons cause only half damage. Magical weapons inflict full damage, causing a black vapor to boil away from their body of the wraith. However, like most undead, wraiths are immune to sleep, charm, hold, death, and cold-based spells. A raised dead spell stands a good chance of utterly destroying the creature. Wyvern. A distant cousin to the dragon. A wyvern is a huge flying lizard with a poisonous stinger in its tail. The dark brown to gray body of the wyvern is half-tail. The tip of the tail is a thick knot of cartilage from which a 2-foot-long stinger protrudes, much like that of a scorpion. This tail is very mobile, easily striking over the back of the enemy the wyvern, not the enemy, the wyvern, to hit an opponent to its front. The wyvern's eyes are red or orange. It does not have a strong odor, although its lair might smell of a recent kill. Like many other monsters, it is rather stupid, aggressive, and always ready to attack. Zill. Oh, these are the guys that usually give me a wallop. Zill appear as short, brawny bipeds with bright red skin and four arms, all of which are capable of wielding weapons simultaneously. Though Zill are asexual, their one aim in life is to reproduce by laying their eggs within the human stomach. Oh. These young feed on the sustenance taken in by their human hosts until it is time for them to hatch. They prefer to attack by appearing suddenly from the ethereal plane, near the intended prey. Magic use attracts them, and hence they are particularly dangerous to mages and clerics. Once a victim has been infected with Zill eggs, a cure disease spell must be used to remove the infestation within 4 days. And that is it on the bestiary. Now we got some charts here. We got. I am not going to read all that. It looks like they at least go to level 20 on levels and experience required for the various characters. Yeah, so, okay. But this is why they're only showing the paladin spell progression. Oh, okay. So up here they show mage experience levels, and then down here it's magic spell progression. And there's cleric. Okay. Well, that explains that. Ability scores. If you've ever cracked open a Dungeons and Dragons manual of any kind, you know exactly what the numerals represent here. Weapons. Weapons are divided into 3 classes: melee, thrown, and fired. Melee weapons are used only in close combat, while thrown and fire weapons are used at range. Now it's going into range. They're actually using the rules from Eye of the Beholder, because they're mentioning ranks. You know, the position your character is in, which you're a single character, so it really doesn't matter. Why they're bringing it up, I have no idea. Designer notes. Some thoughts from Tom Holmes, creative designer and programmer. Dungeon Hack is a fun game, plain and simple, although it has many features to make your game enjoyable, such as printable automaps, an enhanced interface, and driver. It is not really any of these things which make the game unique and exciting. What makes booting up Dungeon Hack a real treat is that you never know what the game is going to come up with next. I don't even know, and I programmed the silly thing. Every role-playing game gives the player the "I wonder what's around this corner" feeling as they are playing. But once you have been around the corner, you know what is there. It's not a surprise anymore. Dungeon Hack on the other hand, could create over 4 billion mazes for your enjoyment. That's a lot of corner to go around, and everyone brings new surprises, coupled with a huge variety of creatures and objects. You'll never see all that Dungeon Hack has to offer in one game. You have to play it again and again, fighting different monsters and finding new treasures as you go. That's why I keep coming back to the game. Even though I've never actually beaten a dungeon, I still come back, because every single time it's been a different dungeon each time. One of the best features of Dungeon Hack for gamers is its customization abilities. Don't like having to search for food? No problem. Just crank up the food amount dropped on each level and crank down your food consumption rate. You want to fight a horde of tough creatures? No problem. Just crank up the monster amount and monster difficulty levels. This customization allows you to have the dungeon generator make dungeons the way you want them made. If you want a real challenge, try to finish a game with the character death reel switch on. You can save your progress as you go, but one mistake and your character is dead, and those saves are deleted too. Now the death of your character means something besides, oh well, time to restore. I think our artists have done a fine job creating new artwork and reworking old so that it all looks wonderful in Dungeon Hack. A very important part of any game is what you see, and I like what I see in Dungeon Hack. It is always fun to open a door, encounter a new creature, and think, that looks cool. I've known I've done that, and I hope you do too. A prime goal in the creature... Actually, my response whenever I see a new creature is, what the hell is that? That's my natural reaction. A prime goal in the creation of this game was to make it very easy to play. From the character generator to the game interface, care was taken to try to make operations quick and painless. The character generator lets you easily select the features you want in your character and lets your computer randomly pick the rest. This gives you great flexibility. You can detail every specific part of your character, all the way down to picking attributes and hit points, or you can let the computer generate or completely random characters. It is up to you. In the game screens you use the most, the dungeon view, inventory, and action icons are all available at the same time to make the game play smoothly. Other features, camp and automap for example, are just a mouse click away. I hope that Dungeon Hack becomes a permanent fixture on your gaming shelf. It is the kind of game that can come back to when you are just looking for something to play, whether you have only a little time or hours to kill, which is exactly why I play it. I think Dungeon Hack will entertain you for the long haul when someone is playing a new game. Here we always ask, are you having fun yet? That is our tried and true test. Sort of a game barometer, going beyond artwork, sound design, and programming, straight to the root of the matter. If you are having fun, then the game is worth playing, so I'll ask you game players, are you having fun yet? I certainly hope so. Whether you're an old Event Horizon or SSI gamer, if this is the first product of ours you have ever played, look for the next exciting adventure to come to your way from Dreamforge and SSI. Was that a chill wind that has just blew through my office? And why is there fog seeping in through under my door? Okay, so apparently Event Horizon changed its name to Dreamforge, and it gives an explanation of why they did that here. Why are you changing your company name? Glad you asked. Event Horizon Software has been in the industry for well over 3 years. Now, during this time, magazines and customers have praised our products for their quality and fun factor. Unfortunately, we feel that our publishers before SSI could not live up to their end of the deal, and that our products did not receive that marketing and distributing push that is standard for commercial products. Then came our rebirth with SSI's publishing and EA's distribution. Our games have finally been accepted into the mass market. EA's involved in these? Oh, no wonder. Our first two games, The Summoning and Veil of Darkness, both received high praise from the industry. Due to their success and opportunities they have brought, the company is growing recently. It is brought to our attention that there is another company named Event Horizons. Thus, we cannot trademark the name Event Horizons. We do not want any confusion with other products. We are very proud of our products and enjoy playing them ourselves. We want people to see our name and know the quality that name represents. The way technology continues to rapidly change presents yet another potential problem. What if our products go beyond software? So we asked ourselves, what media will the company be using in the future? We realized if we knew that perhaps the stock market would be our business. We decided that it did not matter what media was used, because we will always create interactive entertainment. Hey, entertainment. We are committed to bringing you the very best in entertainment. Hence the creation of Dreamforge. And here's the rulebook credits, and that's it for the Dungeon Hack manual. Whew. These manuals are mouthfuls, I tell you. I'm probably going to be reading another one soon. I don't know which one. I believe I'm probably going to be reading one for, well, if I could find it. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. I already had it listed on here. Order of the Griffin. So, yeah. Next one I'll be reading is the Order of the Griffin. And once I read all the manuals, I'll get back to the games. The other thing I'm going to tell you guys is whenever I start a new game, if it has a manual, I'm going to read it first from here on out. If it has a manual. If not, it usually has like a tutorial in-game. If it has a tutorial in-game, we'll just do that. But other than that, we're going to start it off with our session zeros, beginning with the character creation and manual readings. And manual readings, depending on the size of the book, can be 1 to 2 videos long, or 1 to 2 streams long. So next time it's going to be Order of the Griffin. So look forward to that. I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow night or the night after. Tomorrow I'm going to be pretty busy because see those curtains behind me? Here, let me make that a little bigger for you guys. See those curtains behind me? See that little tear right here? Yeah, there's that little tear right there. Right, right here, that tear. I'm trying to use the mouse, but it's not going to show on the screen. Yeah, that little tear right there. That was from my late cat Blue, who was the adoptive daughter of my cat Miley. She passed away back in 2019, a few months after my mother had passed away. But yeah, you can also see vines from the ivy that's outside that grew through my window. So I got to clear all that out, and I'm going to take all that off. I'm going to keep that paper butterfly up there because I made that back in kindergarten. I'm surprised it's still in one piece after all these years. And so I'm going to be cleaning all that up, and I don't know if I'm going to be alive enough afterwards to do a stream or a video for Order of the Griffin. So, but we'll see. It may happen anyway. But thank you guys for watching on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons Night on YouTube, and live on CRPG D&D Night on Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. Bye bye.